Okay, now eventually when the movie is completed, or maybe even during the process of the movie, sorry about that. I was going to drop this. All we want to do is make sure that someone is in charge of the writing.
I know, right?
That's what I was saying. So we have a professional writer.
Can't you do with your mouth full?
A professional writer. A published writer. Someone really good. Maybe like Stephen King. We might could resurrect Orson Welles. Who's pretty good. Unfortunately, we can't resurrect Sam Shepard. But a really good writer. I like doing that with tea. This is tea. You okay? But we're using that lamp for everything, every interior. Also for the pit, when it goes through the doorway of a doorway, we use that lamp from the bottom coming up. That particular lamp. It's a special bulb. So we get a professional writer to come in to write the commercial aspect of the film that understands the trailer aspect and press releases. But the script is mine. It comes from my legal pad. Well, that writer will also be kind of an interpreter. It could be Stephen King. It could be anybody, really. Whoever wants. James Patterson, who wrote Along Come the Spider. If R. Crumb is still alive, is R. Crumb... Check to see if R. Crumb is still alive. R. Crumb could probably maybe help. But I don't want to use any cartoons in it at all. It's live action only. No cartoons whatsoever. Mostly iPhone only. So it comes off as a movie that looks like it's made from an iPhone. If any Hollywood producer, Spielberg, Coppola, De Niro, if they want to show up, they cannot speak to me. But they could be there to watch and take notes. If they want to send money, then they can just send the money. But they cannot speak during the production. But if they want to watch, they can watch. And they can talk to other members of the crew, but not to me. Because I don't want Hollywood to ruin it. But if they want to relay a message or something, I could relay it to another person, but they can't directly speak to me. So if there is an overseer, someone with money, it can be anybody really, they cannot walk right up to me and say, Cole, I'll throw pizza at them. Or I'll go like, right in front of them, including Keitel, De Niro, and they get mad. That'd make them mad. So it's better if they talk to someone that could also speak to me. And then I could say, that's a good idea, I'll write it down, write that down. And then we'll go on and film it exactly the way we need to film it. I know how it looks because it's in my vision. There'll be drone, we'll need to buy a drone. There's some traffic shots. There's some traffic shots in the opening. I don't know for sure. I got to go back and look at my post that's just about the script because I don't even know if I read the first page. It's grainy, but unmistakable. That page is something that we could have a reading. We really don't need to have a reading of the script. We can just see it on YouTube because it's also going to be a part of the Please Subscribe show, the whole movie. So we can read from the screen. You can pause it and go, oh, okay. And you can, televisions nowadays, man, they can do anything. Televisions nowadays, you can have a whole blur and they can clean it all up and see exactly what's printed. You just have to scan your material. You can write a script in one night on a legal pad and just scan it with your phone really quick and send it up in like a minute. They'll be able to interpret everything because people's televisions are like computers. The Chosen One is about the end of the world. So there would be one shot where the sky would look very reddish, pinkish, and we may have to do some type of thing that I'll look through iMovie, maybe talk to some consultants that know a lot about iMovie. It could be local friends like Rob and Charles. There'll be big influences on how the movie should look. We'll have personal meetings at coffee shops. I like to drink espresso with Rob. Rob and I like to talk. He likes to talk about companion pieces, which the Please Subscribe show certainly is. I love companion pieces. When we did Bulb a long time ago, 10 years ago, Rob and I had meetings. I drank espresso. Rob would drink coffee and talk to me about companion pieces and Bulb. We're past that. We're going right for the juggler of cinema, and we're going for the Chosen One. There is going to be some fog in some of the alleyway. I didn't put it in the script. So some of the alleyways we can get fog machines from Costume Etc. or Casa Manana or wherever we get the fog machines. We can go out there and make the alleyway look kind of foggy and stuff. Now we're going to talk about black and white or color. I'm thinking color. Now, it's important to try to say, well, Cole, black and white's just going to look more professional. Think of Eraserhead. True. And that's exactly why I want to use color. Does that make sense? Because if I try and attempt to make a movie look like a movie, then I'm not just going for the content of the script. Instead, I'm just trying to please Hollywood. So no, it will not be black and white. At all. It will not be black and white. It'll be color, and I'm not going to augment. Now, we will talk about color code, because iMovie has that. I like Blockbuster. Not the company, but the color code. There's a color code called Blockbuster. I like the way Blockbuster looks. If you go through, look at your color code on iMovie and look at Blockbuster. No cartoon. No cartoon. Don't even talk to me a cartoon. I'll eat a whole pizza in front of you. Or at least a slice of pizza, a really good one. Right in front of you, and you're like, God, that's rude. And that means no. Color code to worry about. We can use none. This is none right here. We can use Blockbuster. Now, do I like Western color code? Sometimes. Is it okay for us to switch from one color code to another color code? Taxi Driver did it. Am I going to score it? No. No score for the movie. We no longer have Bernard Herrmann. No score. I watched Red Dawn by John Milius the other day. The score sucked, but I love the movie. Some of the score works, but I was like, the score is ruining the movie. It's a better movie than what the score that he had to use. Now, Conan was good. Conan's score still works. I'm afraid of scores right now. No scores. We will not score the movie. Saxophone player. Yes, we need to find a saxophone player. Do I play saxophone? No. Linda plays clarinet. Could we switch to clarinet? Maybe. I like the image of a saxophone. Now, Peter Miller will still go by the music store. He'll still see the saxophone. But can we use a clarinet? Yes. Can we use a recorder? We can. We can use a recorder. This is a recorder. So we can use a recorder. We could also maybe hire a professional recorder player. So that we can score, but we're not going to attempt to make a score. We're not musicians. None of us are. Not to that degree. We don't want to have any commercial music, so no commercial scores. If a car is passing and there's a sound of the music, we'll have to be weary. Okay, that's why I want a zone. Because I don't want to be making the movie and then have a car come by and this booming sound come out and we don't even really want to use that, right? We want to have control of the movie. Complete control. Now, does that mean that we want to control the apartments that we'd be using? Yes, we would get zoning. We would talk to the landlords. We would talk to the leasing. Say, look, this actor is going to be living there. We're going to be paying for this actor to live there for this certain amount of time. We're paying the actor like $10,000 or whatever it may be to get them through the movie. They'll live in the apartment. They'll decorate the apartment the way I want them to be decorated. This is an ongoing thing. Okay, I don't know. It could take a year. It could take 2 years. It could take 3. It could take 5. It could take 6 years. It could take 7 years. It could take a long time to make this movie. It has to be made a certain way. Right now, I want to stick to the iMovie and I want to stick to the iPhone. I like the iPhone because, first of all, you can control it. It's flat. I want to show you the iPhone and why I like using it. Okay? First of all, I want to show you how thin it is and how light it is and how safe it is. You don't have to put it on your shoulder. Okay? Look at it. It's almost as big as my hand. Now, I want to show you some aspects to it. Okay? Look to see if you can see the iPhone. There we go. Look to see if we can see it, to see how flat it is. Can you see that? Look how flat the iPhone is. Right here. There we go. Now you're starting to see it. See it? Right there? You see the iPhone? Look what I'm doing with my body. Now look what I'm doing with the iPhone in the mirror. See? Right there. And look, that's with the mirror and the iPhone. Okay? See the difference? See what I'm doing? Right here. So we can use mirrors as well with the iPhone, because it gives a different effect like that. I wanted to show you how flat it is right there. And you can see almost. Okay? This is on selfie. Okay? So we're looking at the iPhone right now. It's doing different things. There we go. Now we can see it. See the different things the iPhone can do when we're holding it like this? Right? And you can't even really tell it's an iPhone to a certain way. Right? It almost looks like some kind of device that doesn't even really look like a camera to the actor. It looks like a phone. So that's going to help the actor, because a camera is intimidating. iPhone is not. They deal with it every day. It's comfortable to them. They understand it. We can hear everything they say. I can walk over here and I can just do this right now with an iPhone. Okay? It follows the hand, right? And things that I'm doing. So it's very easy to use right here. And it's light. You don't have to worry about a crew. You don't have to worry about anything. All right? That's another reason. And also, if I want to do a voiceover thing or whatever, it'll adjust the sound accordingly. It'll work good enough. They'll get through the whole hour and 40 minutes or hour and 30 minutes or an hour and 20 minutes or whatever it takes to tell the story of Peter Miller in the first release. If it turns into a series or whatever, I think we should just shoot for a movie. If they like it, then it maybe can fall into a series and I can give it to somebody else. But the movie, the feature, I think, is what I meant to do a long time ago in the early 90s, 92 or 93, and then I developed it in 94, and then started writing on the legal pad in about 95 or so, maybe. I was very isolated when I wrote it, so I was able to get it out there. So I think as a movie, it can stand alone. If it makes it to the next part, where The Chosen One is more of a thing, then we could go further, and I'll just sell it to somebody or give the rights over to somebody else. So The Chosen One is kind of a character piece in a way. It follows Peter Miller, so it's going to focus on Peter Miller mostly. Peter Miller is almost in every shot. So if Charles Statham takes it, and I like the size that he is. I don't think there's any kind of weight loss or anything with him. I think I've seen a recent photo. It's fine. This is a guy that, probably eats out of trash cans and things like that. So it's okay for him to be heavy set. He doesn't have to worry about the things Marlon Brando worried about in Apocalypse Now. It's fine. I'm not trying to cover anything up. I'm not trying to ask him to lose weight. I know Coppola asked Marlon Brando to lose a lot of weight. I thought that was rude. He ended up using him exactly the way he was, and it's fine. I'm not going to ask somebody to lose a bunch of weight. Like sign Bradley Cooper over and say, look, you better weigh 150 pounds. No, it's not going to be that way. If he's 275, 300 pounds, or 250, 240, I can't even really tell. He was bigger when we first started working on Blue Season, which is not really even, Blue Season's not connected to The Chosen One, but when we worked with Charles, he was like a college kid, and he was a little hefty. Kind of reminds me, he always kind of reminded me a little of like a combination of different actors. I think we always would say Richard Dreyfuss kind of thing, and Robin Williams, but more Richard Dreyfuss and kind of thing. He had this kind of systematic approach, but with kind of a methods meaning, an intention, a serious intention. But I'd have to, I haven't seen him perform in probably 20 years or more. I know that he went to New York and he did Rent. He did all these like Broadway and theater shows, or off Broadway, or off Broadway, or off Broadway with Angela Gant and all this stuff. He really worked well for Blue Season, so definitely. And like, Peter Miller is a bum. He's a disgusting bum. He lives in by a dumpster, and then he develops into a millionaire. So he goes from eating out of dumpsters to eating at the classiest French restaurant in Fort Worth. So he becomes well-to-do, but he starts off a complete messy bum. Now, I think Rob could pull off the head of the secret agency, because he has this long hair. I like the idea that it's kind of long, flowing hair, Native American kind of thing. Looks a little bit Native American, and sunglasses, and he's kind of stern. And I think he did a little bit of that in when we did Once in a Lifetime and From Now Until Morning and The Way of Man. So he's kind of relaxed. He just gives them the card. It's not that big of a deal. He's a secret agent guy. He's just hiring a new worker. And I like the nonchalant way that Rob can pull it off. Also, Rob can be kind of funny like Gene Wilder and things like that. So he has kind of a comedic kind of ability where he has this comedy nature, but he's also very serious. So he would be good as the secret agent. Now, originally, I wrote it for Rob, but I wanted to bring in another actor that I like. So I will be calling upon other actors and stuff and tell them, okay, this is why I want you to do the role. Now, the reason why Charles would be good for it is because Charles and I did a play called Love, and Charles played kind of like this bum guy that was going to jump off a bridge. And that's kind of the Peter Miller attitude. He gets kind of emotional at times, but then at other times he's just kind of like a bum. And I think he would probably fit into that pretty well. Also, Charles has a playful attitude to him that's probably still there somewhere. I know he's a businessman now. I know he makes a lot of money or enough, but he would get to that point, but he would start off very lowly and have that kind of kid personality that he had at Wesleyan when he did musicals and things like that. So I'm confident that he could probably find that in him, and that it would work out. Now, with Rob, like I said, they are similar in some ways, but Rob can have a very serious kind of thing, because Bobby Skez can be serious in a scene, and then he can also pull up emotions and stuff like that, and he can also be like the lead of the Secret Service agent and things like that. So I think that would work. Now, I mentioned Eddie. I think he could be also a Secret Service agent if he accepts it, and we can give him a few thousand. he could come in for a few scenes. And then there's cab drivers and things like this, which can be an Uber driver. We don't have to have it as a taxi driver, but it can be an Uber driver. Back then when I wrote it, there was no Uber, so taxi driver would work. We can also do Uber driver too, but taxi driver might be easier if we just put a taxi cab thing on the top. People do that because they work for cab companies that are on the app, and they just have to put a taxi thing on the top. So we can still do that and use a taxi driver. We could also use a real Uber driver, as long as they sign the contract and they're okay with being in the movie and stuff. We can have them sign the contract right there and say, look, you're going to be in a movie, here's the iPhone, and we just shoot the scene. I do want to make sure we have zoning permits and everything that we need, so when we go out there, we don't run into any problems, so that we have the permit, we can come out. And I'd have a representative that would represent me to show those permits and things like that, so that we can proceed. Plus, another thing too, when you have a permit, all the authorized people that are out there to control traffic would be notified, so they would know what was going on in the first place, so they wouldn't have to question the crew. So don't want to be approached more than 6 feet by anybody, not even the actors. Now, I would rather do the 6 feet rule than the mask. If you want to use a mask or wear a mask, you can have it. And sometimes we can even have it in the scene because it fits it. So if you want to wear a mask, bring the mask, and that's fine. We can use it. Maybe, even in the beginning sequences, we can have Peter Miller wearing a mask. So he'd be wearing... I lost my mask today. So we went to the gym and my mask is gone, but I have this right here. This one, right? So Peter Miller would have a mask that he would wear for the opening sequences and stuff. I like these too. So he's on the street wearing this and things like that. If we use another mask, we can also use this mask right here. This one right here. So we'll have mask, but it would be like stuffed pizza stains and weird things on it or something, like he just ate a meal and found a mask. Things like that. And so the idea behind Peter Miller is that he's got like a blanket, you know, and he's opening scenes is like really cold, but it's not really cold outside. You know, he's got a mask on and he's afraid to talk to anybody, you know. And he's just kind of looking around, you know. You know, he's maybe laying down like asleep, you know. He's got like maybe like this over him. You know, the actor, Charles would be able to do input on that and have all the creative freedom. All the actors, whatever they want to do, this is actor base. That's why I don't want crew and sound people and all this, because I don't want to get all Christian Bell on them. Like, get the lighting guy out or get the boom mic. Get out. You know, this is an actor thing. So when the actor speaks, everyone be quiet. So the actor, and we can start filming, so the actor can come up with all of the creative aspect of what Peter Miller is. And if someone else has a note or something, they can relay it to the director so that the actor can think and be alive, just like you would do it in a theater show. The actor might go, hey, well, what about this? And I like the director go, okay, yeah, that's good. I like that. Do more of that. So that the actor is kind of in control. Okay? So Charles would be able to bring all this stuff. He'd be prepared. So by the time if we shoot a year from now or whatever, he'd be prepared. He'd already be preparing and thinking of what is Peter Miller? What does it mean to me? What is the chosen one? What's the end of the world? What's going on in the streets today? Why am I wearing this mask? Right? So we know that the actor is in charge of it. So there can be a little bit of improv. I'm not all David Lynch. I like improv. We can have some of that at times. We can go two different ways. We can go two different paths. I do like the idea of having the script on legal pad and then me sending it through YouTube so the audience can see the script. And they're like, wow, this is amazing. We can see the script before the movie even is made. And everybody can talk about the movie and we don't have to keep any secrets and everything is great and it's out there and it's ongoing. You know, it's connected to New York with Philip Seymour Hoffman and it's just ongoing thing, right? Until we get it right. Eraserhead took 5 years to figure out and finally they were ready. And they had the opening, everybody came and they gave out this birth certificate. So we take our times as the actors, and it's an actor-based thing. It's not a director thing, really. It's an actor thing. But there is a director. Now, the reason I was eating really mean and ferocious and stuff, because I wanted to show some of Peter Miller's quality, because I'm an actor. So I want to show how Peter Miller can be, and then how we can have him next to a dumpster and maybe, and he's eating or something, or he's playing with a puppy dog. I saw a guy on the street today playing with like a puppy dog, and he was hugging the puppy dog. He was like kind of just smiling, and he loved the puppy dog. No one hugs a puppy dog like that. But the guy was like, had his own house and stuff. He was probably like a homeless guy that got a house. He got his own house and a puppy dog. He was happy. So Peter Miller appreciates the fact that a puppy dog might approach him, but he has some food and a chicken bone, and he's eating maybe some pizza, and he's got a pizza stain on his mask, and he's, maybe there's a recorder. Someone goes by, and like, what is that? And they're like, and he's seeing people, like a real Fisher King kind of thing. So he's not, Charles has done this stuff, Charles Statham. He's done this kind of performances and stuff in many different productions that I've seen him. He was always that way. Real Robin Williams kind of Fisher King kind of thing, but not like Robin Williams. It's not that good. It's a movie made on an iPhone. So it's still powerful. Are you okay, Sniffles? She's like, I'm fine. I like that, too, with Peter Miller. Maybe when the Secret Service agents could say, Peter Miller, are you okay? I'm fine. So he answered immediately. He's on top of it. I like fast-paced stuff really fast. And then we have a moment to breathe. Peter Miller, are you okay? I'm fine. I'm fine. So it's real, just real quick and then like really subtle. I'm fine. I'm fine. So he goes from being this really crazy person on the street to being this very stern, millionaire, where he's just sitting there very stern. Because he got all this money for working for the secret agency, dumping dead bodies through this door, right? So he'd take the dead body and he'd take it through this door in a field, like just a door frame in a field, and he would dump this body through this door frame, and it'd go down this pit with this light. This lamp is at the bottom shining up, and then he just walks away. I'm fine. I'm fine. That kind of thing, So you think this guy is like severely mentally ill, or severely, that Marlon Brando would be very good. And then he goes into a Marlon Brando kind of thing. I think that the thing is that, and then his glasses break, So his glasses are broken. So they find him, and he's, I was making, I see through my glasses. Think of Mike Judge, the red stapler guy. Milton, I filled my glasses with, my glasses broke, see? So he's like that way, but then all of a sudden, it just cuts, it's like, and he's perfectly normal. So there's like a very different aspect of Peter Miller. So this one will be under production meeting about Peter Miller, or say the production meeting for Chosen One / Peter Miller. Well, it'll be a production meeting, Chosen One, an independent film by Cole Spivey, Peter Miller character. But it's that kind of movie kind of thing. Let me see if I can find some of these things right here. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and send this one up as another production meeting. This will be for I'll just say production meeting Peter Miller. Or no, I'll say production meeting Chosen One. I want to be consistent. An independent film by Cole Spivey, part 3.